Good afternoon. Myself, Dr. Rajendra Gupta, Chief of the Marathon Medical Committee. I welcome you all on behalf of Pune International Marathon Trust. Today, we have a webinar workshop online offline on the topic that is a pre-hospital medical management, that is a medical management on the route of 35th Pune International Marathon, which is the oldest marathon in Asia. I welcome all the EMS doctors from Symbiosis, welcome all the nurses from Bharati Vidyapeeth and Vishwaraj College of Nursing, Lodi. And I welcome physiotherapists from the Sancheti Hospital, physiotherapists from Nigri College, Dr. Deepak Chavan's team, and the backbone of this marathon medical team is Maharashtra Emergency Medical Services 108 ambulances, and all the doctors. There are some physicians, cardiologists, MD medicine doctors, and other doctors are with us. Today, we have this meeting of a team leaders, but many doctors, volunteers are joining this meeting offline, online. So I welcome the doctors on the online, team members of the online which is attending. And today's chief guest is Dr. Parag Sancheti, but he will be joining soon. He will be joining soon because he is now in operation theater. So I request Mr. Rohan More, who is truly a legendary and a celebrity in a sports field. Friends, Mr. Rohan More is a trustee of Pune International Marathon Trust, and there are seven people in the world who are expert in the ocean swimming. Mr. Rohan More is the youngest one of them. Please give him a big hand. He has got a Tenzing Norgay Award from the President of India for the achievement, Shiv Chhatrapati Award from the government of Maharashtra, and many awards. So I welcome Rohan More sir. He will be talking on the international marathon management. And here we have also one of the legendary lady, Gurban's Kaur madam. She is very young. Age is just 72 years old. 74 years old. She has got a Shiva Chhatrapati Award from government of Maharashtra. And my very young friend, Sumant Vaikar sir. Sumant Vaikar sir was the backbone of the Commonwealth Youth Games, Commonwealth Games in Delhi, their area and all the management in the Delhi. So Sumant Vaikar has got a Shiva Chhatrapati Award and great experience of athletics, Bhishmachar of athletics. He is a race director here. It is a very difficult job because we will be discussing it afterwards, but it is very difficult job. He has done it very properly, and all the team of this international marathon trust here working here. I welcome all, and I request Rohan More sir to do the presentation regarding the planning Pune International Marathon. Rohan More sir.
Next one. Thank you very much, all the doctors, all the institutions, and coming here. Every year, we got a lot of support from you guys, and we really appreciate you over the period of time. For past 35 years, your entire team was giving a tremendous support to our athletes, our organizations. It is truly kind of a big work for us. So we will start with the presentation. So currently we are in the 36th edition of the Pune International Marathon, which is going to happen on 27th of February. So just don't go by the date because we are going to organize this event on the 26th night. So it is a midnight marathon, and this is going to be the first edition of the PIM, which will be going to be held in the midnight. And this is the first international marathon is happening after the post-COVID. So this is the first recognized marathon that is happening post-COVID era. So we are going to have going to face a lot of challenges, getting the permissions and all, making this entire big team management and all those things are happening in the background. So we welcome all of you with this thing. So I will just start with the presentation. You can let's go through that one. Next. Yeah. So as I talked about, this is a midnight marathon. So just look at the timings. 42 kilometers and 21 kilometers is going to be the night. So we have two groups for each marathon. One is a male, one is a female. So 42 kilometer marathon will be starting 12 a.m. 21 kilometer marathon will be starting half an hour later. That's 12:30 a.m. So for 42 kilometers, we will be approximately having 400 to 500 athletes, including foreign athletes. After that, we have 21K. That is going to be around 700 to 800 athletes. So total night runners are going to be 1,000 plus athletes. So this year we are not inviting many people because of COVID restrictions. So we are restricting the athletes registration so that we will be having a good run as well as we can have those responsibilities towards our nation and all these things. Okay, so these two marathons will be happening in the night. These two sections, along with the wheelchair, will be going to happen in the morning. Okay, so 10K and 5K is going to be in the morning. Okay. So this is about the parking. So I don't think so. We will be needing the parking. So this is mainly about the race guide for the athletes. So let's talk about the assembly line. So actually, I will explain you the concept that we are going to use it for this marathon. So we have around 10.5 kilometers of road. So our athlete who is going to participate for 21K or 42K is going to travel this to and fro. That's he will be going 10.5 kilometers and coming 10.5 kilometers. That is 21 kilometers distance. Okay, that's a one loop for a 42 kilometers. So on the same road, he will be running another 21 kilometers. Okay, the two loops. The race will be starting outside Sanaground. That is a Baburao Sanas Chowk. Okay, so for the night marathons, the runner will be facing towards the Bajira Road. Okay, so the race will go towards the Bajira Road till Shanavarwada. It will take a turn at a PMC Chowk. It will come by the same road. We are not going to take another road. We are taking the same road, the same thing. So it will come down to this place. So it's a cross section here, and it will go to the Siaga Road. This is the Lakshmana temple. It will take a right turn, and then it's straight 8 kilometers of distance. So on this side, it's a 5 kilometers going and coming back. This side, it's 8 kilometer one way, coming back 8 kilometers. So it's a 16 kilometers on the Siaga Road and 5 kilometers on the Vajira Road. So total 21 kilometers. This is the one loop for the full marathon, and the second loop will be same. Okay. So talking about the medical arrangements at the start point and the inside of the finish area. For the start point, we will be having, if you see here, the icon of the ambulance, we will be having the medical team, which will be standing at just next to the start point. Okay, so we have the medical zone over here. So at the start point, we will be having a medical team, one medical team here. At the finish point, we will have quite a big arrangement for the medical team. We will have a small medical setup, kind of a small hospital kind of thing, which will have 15 beds for the emergency. Then immediately after the finish line, we are going to have a physiotherapy center. So those runners who feel the fatigue or maybe having some cramps, they can take immediate treatment out here. And we will be keeping some ambulance. We have 3 ambulances which will be ready for any emergency at the parking of Sun's ground. Okay, so 3 ambulances over here with another setup of medical team and 1 medical team at the start point. So that is the medical setup for the start line and finish. So this is the route that I have explained just now. So our start point is at the Babura Shanas Chowk. For the midnight marathon, we are going to have a start towards the Bajira Road. Okay, it will go here to Shanbarwada, then it will take a Nawapul. It will cross that Nawapul, then it will reach the PNC or Mangala Chowk. will take a U-turn. So this total distance is 2.5 kilometers one way. So it will take a U-turn at this point, will traverse the same path, will take the same path, and it will join us back at the start point. Then at the Sarasbagh circle, then Lakshmi Mata temple, and it will take a left towards the Sinagad road, and then it's a pretty straight road till the Lokmat office. Okay, so it's around 8 kilometers of straight road. There is no turn, no right, no left, same road all the way till Lokmat Chowk, and then we will be turning back the race towards the start point. So the major thing that we need to identify, understand here is that we are going to use the one side of the road. One side of the road will be open for the traffic. One side of the road will be used for the run. Okay. So which side we are going to use? We are going to use the side which will be going from Pune to the Sinagad. Okay. So we will be using the side which will be going from Pune to the Sinagad, and the traffic will be opened from the Sinagad to the Pune side. So one side traffic, one side the runners. So this is the second loop. So just a replica of the first loop. So we will be turning out the race at the start point itself. We will come along this way, and the runner will finish his race inside the stadium. So basically, every side have the routes. So 21K route. So one loop only. So let's talk about the morning races. Okay. So this is the 10-kilometer route. So talking about the morning races, we are not going to the Bajira road. So morning races will happen only on the Sinagad. The 10-kilometer race will go till 5-kilometer point. We will turn back and we will come back to the start point or the finish point. Okay. The 10-kilometer turning point is the Santosh Hall on the Sinagad. So next race is a 5-kilometer race, so which will start at the 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's the same. It will also go to the Sinagad road only. It will have a U-turn at the Reshmala Chowk, Anmala Chowk, and it will come back at the start point. So if you see here, I have drawn this picture about the route, how it's going to be the straight line. So this portion is 2.5 and 2.5 coming back. So it's a 5-kilometer. This is total 8-kilometer distance. Okay. So for our management purpose, we have divided this route into 3 groups. Okay. So we have divided it group 1, group 2, and group 3. So let's talk about group 1 first. So group 1 is starting from Lokmat office U-turn till Rajaram Chowk. So that is a 4 kilometers of distance. Then again, this Rajaram Chowk to the Sanas ground is a 4 kilometers of distance. Then this 2.5 kilometers, that is a group 3. So why we are dividing this route is the reason behind it is that it's going to be our first night marathon, and we need to think about the safety of the runners, safety of our officials, safety of our medical things, entire things, and the logistics that we are going to need it on the route. Okay. So what about the logistics? The thing is, very first thing is the water. So water, then your hydrations, then your nutritions, then your the social, the support officials, food package, or everything we need to manage. So we have divided this into 3 groups. Every group has a group coordinator. Okay, I think doctor must have shared the flat sheet with you, the PDF with you, that have all the group leaders' contact number, including the medical team group coordinators. So we have divided this medical team also into the 3 groups, so that each team have their medical coordinator. So something happens, let's say in the group 1. So if I am not from a non-medical background, so somebody fails while running, so I can contact my group leader, which is the team head for that particular group. So that way we can handle that particular scenario. So suppose I am running, I failed during running. So somebody is a support officer there, so he don't know what to do. So he will just look at the number which is there in the PDF, share with him, so he can coordinate with whatever medical team lead is there in appointed to his group, and he can get the whatever designated medical ethics. So one more thing about this groups. So at the each end part of this group, we are going to have the medical stations. Okay. So we have total 4 medical stations. Station 1 at this Lokmat Chowk, Station 2 at the Rajaram Chowk at here the Ventricular Fibrillation. Then 3rd medical station is at the start point itself. And the 4th medical station is at the turning point, ENC. Apart from that, we have 3 more medical sessions inside this, but each of the group. So which is going to be there at the 2 kilometers point. Okay, one will be at the Santosh Hall, then other will be at the Nirmiti Furniture, and then one will be the Shani Park Mandir. This is the diagram. What do I talk about the medical teams? Okay, so there's a session 1, you will be having one medical team. Session 2, you will have another medical team. Session 3, session 4. At all stations, you will be having a medical team. Plus, at the 2 kilometer points, you will be having another medical team. Okay, so your group will have 3 points of contacts for the medical team. Okay, either at the end points of the group or at the middle of the group. Okay. So this is the support official diagram. So for the support official, we are planning to have our support official at every 250 meters, so that it's a night marathon. Somebody can feel scared while running, and that's the reason we have kept this much of support official for the support of the runners. So these are the major cross sections that we identified during our race course, which might be a problem for us in the view of traffic. So we are in touch with the police also and our support officials also, who will help us to ensure that our route, our race course will be traffic free. So if something happens, those coordinators will coordinate with the police to have that our race course traffic free. So again, this we talked about the the water sessions, right? So water sessions will be available for athletes at every kilometers. So we are making them feel just it will have after every 500 meters. What we are doing, because we are going to have a lap, right? So every hour kilometer is kind of overlapping. If you see here, 1 kilometer is overlapping with the 4 kilometers, 2 kilometers is overlapping with 3 kilometers. So what we are doing, we are just adjusting this water session of let's say 3 kilometers to 3,500 meters. So runner will feel that water is available at every 500 meters. So this is majorly for the police. So these are the coordinators for the medical teams. So anything happens during your group, you can report directly to your medical coordinator and get proper help and proper channel how you can help the athlete, or maybe some support official can also collapse. You can get help of these coordinators to make him that whatever help is available during that particular group. I think that's it from me. If you have any questions, then go ahead, please.
If you have any question, can ask. Where we have to bring the students?
I think that's it will be discussed by. I think you are gathering at the Sun's ground. So just one request, whatever you are planning, you need to be at least at the Sun's ground by 10 p.m. because after 11 we are closing everything. So after 11 roads will be closed entirely. This race course will be closed entirely. Nobody can come this anything. So any questions?
So, thank you, Rohan sir. One thing I forgot, Rohan Moore sir has got a Hall of Fame award from UK, and entering in this mega event, Pune International Marathon. After COVID, first time this marathon is midnight marathon. So you have seen the presentation. Everything is explained. The main thing concerned with us is that we should be on the route before 11. Each and every medical member, medical committee member, maybe he is a EMS doctor, he is a nurse, he is a physiotherapist, or he is a 108 ambulances driver, doctor, everyone. And we have some physicians with us also. We have Dr. Sachin Lakde. So this team should be on the route. So our duty is that we have to gather at a Sun's ground Reporting time is at 9 o'clock. This time, this is my request. Because there, Sanas ground, everyone knows that Sanas ground is near Swargat. Swargat, then it is a Sarasbag. Sarasbag is very famous. So near Sarasbag, it is a big athletic ground, Sanas ground. You come from back side, from the Peshu Park side, then there is a gate. That gate will be open for you. We have ample space for parking there, but my request is, please come with two-wheelers. Please arrange that. Otherwise, four-wheelers, there might be some problems, right? So our team, medical team, it consists of 250 members, team members. So Saturday night, 9 o'clock, it is the 26th of the February, right? All our team members should be there at 9 o'clock at Sanas ground. From back side there, we will gather there. We have team leaders. We have some team leaders from Symbiosis, EMS doctor, which is the main coordinator is Dr. Munindra Samant. He is coming here now, just coming here. Vishal Kade. And they will give you your location, exact location. We will place your location tomorrow on the WhatsApp group. We have a group, that group. So the team leader have their duty to explain your team regarding everything, and that each everything will be explained at 9 o'clock, 9 to 10. 9:30 we will deploy. So at Sanas ground there, we will give you I-cards, we'll give you the t-shirts, we'll give you the food packets, medical kit. We have physiotherapists, they need mainly the ice. So Dr. Deepak has arranged that thing. So ice cubes, and this will be arranged, and each and everything you will get at 9 o'clock Sanas ground there. Then we have arranged 2 buses from Sanas ground. One bus will go from Sanas ground to Pune Municipal Corporation. So, and that bus will take the EMS doctors, nurses, and physiotherapists, some physiotherapists from that place, and that will be deployed on each and every kilometer on the route. Don't worry about safety, because safety is the main concern for us. And we have a big team of Guruban's Kaur Madam, Sumant Vaikar. So you will not be there alone. You have minimum 5 to 10 people with us, and they are office bearers. We have arranged the toilets there. Everything will be arranged properly. So we drop at each kilometer the team, and that team will have 1 EMS doctor, 1 nurse, physiotherapist there. When the race complete, then that bus will pick all this team will come back to the Sanas ground. And then the second bus starts from Sanas ground, and it will go to Loknath Chowk. So there, 9 o'clock, when we will gather there, then from there, that bus will pick up you and drop you on the second route. That is a route from Sanas ground to Sihangarh Road to Loknath. So this is a simple thing, but main thing is that at 11 o'clock, everything will be closed. So we should be on the route before 11 o'clock. So this is one thing. Any queries regarding this? We have some coordinator, proper coordinator with the office bearers. We have a 3 area. One area from Loknath office to Sanas ground. At Sanas ground is the second location, and third is from Sanas ground to Pune Municipal Corporation. So we have Dr. Shiv Sharan Gandhar there. So Dr. Shiv Sharan Gandhar will coordinate all the marathon officers, office bearers with medical team. Then Dr. Jaya Deshmukh ma'am. Dr. Jaya Deshmukh will have all the coordination of the Pune Municipal Pune Corporation, then International Marathon, office bearers and medical team at Sanas ground. Dr. Swati Jagtap also will be there. And third route, that is a Sanas ground to Pune PMC Chowk. So that will be taken care by Dr. Deepak Chavan. So they will have to look after each and everything there. Everything queries, and then our team colleagues, the team members from Symbiosis, from Sancheti, from Nigri College, Bharati Vidyapit, Vishwaraj, all they have any queries, they have any problem, they can coordinate with their team leaders, and that team leaders will coordinate these three people. So this is one thing. Any queries? काय अडचणी आटतात? Because this is the first time. And I am sure that this team of Marathon Medical Committee will make it a proper guide for the other marathon which will be coming. So after the COVID, this is the first marathon, midnight marathon. Any queries? कोणाला काय शंका आहे? Now may I request Suresh Ray sir to have his presentation. Suresh sir. Suresh Ray sir is an associate professor. He has a PhD. He is associate professor of Bharati Vidyapit College of Nursing, and he is the oldest team member of Pune International Marathon since 15 years. So I welcome Dr. Suresh Ray sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for your humble words. Actually, these introduction and these kinds of words are not required. Yes, I am proud member of this Pune International Marathon team since I joined, and it is always a privilege to work with disaster management teams. So this particular Pune International Marathon is organized. It is being organized since many years. Now this year also, the first time we are organizing this during midnight or night time. So this is one of the occasions where you can secure your opportunity and work hard and see how disaster, how the athletes can be managed during this marathon. Now, to begin with, I want to say that marathon kind of event, it's we keep this kind of event in the category third event. There are category first event, category second event, and category third event. Now, in the category third event, where spectators, those who are watching the marathon, and the participants, those who are participating in the marathon, both are at risk. People who are watching, they are continuously watching, standing during the daytime. Of course, this time it is happening in the night time, so a lot more of spectators you will not see. But yes, they are also at risk, and we have to cater those people also. And marathon people, athletes, definitely they are running, so they are all at risk of different health issues during the marathon. So I would start with whoever is a medical team member in the marathon, two kinds of preparation is required. Be it the medical counterpart or the paramedics or the nursing counterparts. First is a personal preparedness, and next is a professional and your skill-wise preparedness to handle and tackle those problems. Personal preparedness is that you need to be mentally sound and you need to be physically fit to attend these kind of marathon, because we are going to cater the athletes. We cannot cater you all over there, because that's why I'm saying physically and mental fitness is required for such kind of event. If you have not seen, please go through and read everything and mentally sound so that you are mentally prepared to cater down the public, those who are there. Second thing is that you need to be aware of all kinds of the arrangements what is being made, like physical arrangement, the route map, the available resources, the manpower, whoever is there. You need to be clear in your mind so that in kind of emergency, you can contact your team leaders, you can contact your coordinators, and later down they can contact with the office bearers, and the immediate help will be provided to the athletes and immediate help will be provided to you. So that's why resources, management, arrangements need to be very clear in your mind, and that is what required in personal preparedness. The talk about professional preparedness and the skill-wise preparedness, the most common issues I'm going to talk about over here is, see, the most common issues while the athletes are running, it is exercise-associated attacks. Second thing is that hypoglycemia things, which is, for example, in exercise-associated falls or exercise-associated attacks. The most common thing is that dehydration. Another thing is that hypoglycemia. The another thing which is most common during the marathon, it's heat stroke, hypothermia, and later down heat stroke. Now we might be thinking that this particular marathon is happening during the night time, so there is no question of heat stroke. But we need to understand that heat stroke can occur during the cold time also, because your body is continuously running and the heat is generating out of the body, and heat stroke can occur during any point of the time. Maybe it's a cold time or it is a hot time. The next thing is that what you need to take care of is musculoskeletal injuries, and later down, very rare cases, what we see during the marathon is hyponatremia, which is also one of the things commonly being observed and commonly being researched, but the cases are very rare. So cases wise, we need to prepare ourselves. So I must tell you all that when you're going back to your home, read about marathon, read about health issues which is occurring during the marathon, and read about the management part of that marathon. If you talk about exercise associated attacks or exercise associated problem, the most thing is that fluid depletion. Because runners are continuously running, so fluid depletion is one of the issues. And people may go into hypovolemic shock. The another thing is that due to dehydration, the problem arises. So the replacement of the fluid is must. So here the medical team comes forward. Replacement of the fluid, we have to monitor the vitals, and at the same time monitor the core temperature of the body. That is most important. And that monitoring means a rectal thermometer. So I would suggest the medical team member, along with the auxiliary thermometer, keep the rectal thermometer also, which is more important in case of maintaining the monitoring the core temperature. The another thing what I am talking about is heat stroke sometimes happens because of continuous running, body is warming. So heat stroke can be generated, and because of that, you might have headache, your BP can raise. So those things can be tackled down with, you can reassure the patient, make the patient lie down on a flat surface, or you can keep the leg elevated of the person, then fanning, cooling, whatever is available on the side. See, management during the marathon on the field is different from what we are managing in the hospital. So we need to understand this particular concept. So whatever is available on the spot, and that's why you need to be very vigilant and alert. Otherwise, you cannot cope up with the situation. You yourself get faint by looking at the situation. Sometimes it happens, and by God's grace, nothing is happening since many years, but you cannot predict the situation. So that is why I'm saying mental preparedness is more required rather than physical preparedness. So whenever you are coming to the marathon thing, eat well, drink well, and calm. So heat stroke is one of the things. Monitor the vitals, then fanning, cooling, and of course, if you can give fluids to the participant. But during that time, observe two things: the consciousness of the patient. If the patient is conscious, able to drink water, then you provide water. If the patient is not conscious, immediately your next management will be providing the IV fluids. And that sort of management is there with the nearby ambulance. So if you are not able to manage those clients, immediately refer or pass the client to the nearby ambulance, and the emergency medical management team can cater the particular client. Another thing is that hypothermia. Hypothermia, why? Because of excessive sweating. And if the core body temperature is not maintained, the athlete can go into the hypothermia. So what you can do in the hypothermia, first you have to strip off all the clothes full with sweating, dry the client, and of course you can provide warm blankets if the blankets and other things are available on the spot. So you can give and give warm fluids if it is present. So those kind of things can be catered down with simple management. No high-fi management is required. First of all, we need to see that we can manage the client on the spot. If at all not possible for you, then go and shift to the client for emergency medical management services. And 4% client only, what I have read and what I have seen, 1 to 4% only people require advanced medical care. Otherwise, it is in our hand only to provide, first of all, minor care and basic care. What is minor care is that provision of tablets, if somebody is asking, and provision of band-aids for abrasion and cuts. Basic care starts with your, providing ice caps. Then you are dressing the wound. So those things comes into, or giving exercises, stretching exercises in case of cramps and all. So those things comes under basic care. Otherwise, advanced care will be done and catered in the ambulance room. Fine, this one particular thing that you need to see. The another one of the important thing what I was telling you about hyponatremia. Now what happens, normally we feel, or normally it's our concept that athletes are running and they are going to be out of fluid at some point of time. Fine, this is our normal concept because they are running, they become thirsty at some point of time and then they drink lot of water. So what we do in that particular situation, we try to hydrate the client. And in that bargain, we give glucose water again and again. But the situation is that we are not seeing that patient can land up into hyponatremia if you fed over to the client. Sometimes fluid volume is already there. What the athlete does basically, they run and at the same time they have water bottles or they have water stations. They drink fluid continuously. With that, there is a fluid volume overload. And they are not passing, they are not urinating anywhere. Because they have the mindset, they have to reach up to finish line. And some people think that I want to win. So with that mindset, they continuously run. And with that, they drink also. And it is a fluid volume overload. And when the client reaches to the finishing point, what do we think that client is fainted or client is, whatever the things is happening with the client, it's because of fluid depletion. But actually situation is reversed. Fluid volume is overload, and that's how hyponatremia comes into the picture. So hyponatremia can be treated in the ambulance with hypotonic solutions. So such client can be referred to the ambulance. Now you might be thinking how we are going to identify such clients. The commonest thing is that you observe the fingers. You observe the ring if the athlete has wore any kind of rings. You will see the swelling on those sides. So the most important sign of identifying the cases of hyponatremia, it's body swelling. So if you can understand that, don't give the fluid, shift to that client to the ambulance, and with hypertonic solution, that is basically a saline solution, you can bring down the level of that fluid. So that is one thing you need to observe. Apart from that, the most commonest thing is that musculoskeletal injuries, which we all know how we can take care. It is all support is required for abrasions, cuts. The dressing is required, and you can hydrate the patient, reassure the patient, and give proper position and rest, and things will be okay. So this is how you can work as a team. The most important thing, be a nurse, be a physiotherapist, be a doctor. You need to work in a team. You need to identify the particular condition, make yourself calm, don't be in a hurry, don't create a havoc. Things will be okay on their own time. You just need to take appropriate step to treat the client or treat the athlete. So that's it from my end. If any query is there, definitely I would love to answer that.
Thank you, Dr. Suresh Mehta. As you rightly said that, yes, this is the pre-hospital medical management. Means you all are working in the hospitals. You are working under roof, there are hospital, but now here you have to give a treatment on the roof. So it is a pre-hospital management, as you rightly said, as a team. And this is a very good opportunity for you to work, give medical treatment on the route with your team. And this is a unique team of EMS doctors, physicians, nurses, physiotherapists. So as a team, if you are working on the route, managing all the casualties on the route, really it is a very, very rare experience for you of a pre-hospital management. So as you mentioned that, might be there are some few casualties like hypoglycemia, hypotension, might be stroke, musculoskeletal injuries, or some serious cases. That time, we have few simple things which are arranged on the route, and that is a medical kit, small medical kit that contains, as you mentioned, that dressing, abrasions, cuts, injuries. that will be managed with a simple dressing material, which is hanging. The dressing material is Savlon, dressing things, betadine. Then common tablets, paracetamol, cyclopam, ranitidine. So these are available in the medical kit. Sprays, musculoskeletal injuries might be there. Many times as you mentioned that up till now there is not a major casualty, sir. आतापर्यंत एकही major casualty कुठले झाले नाही. But we will hope that this time also
things will remain same.
Same. But we should be prepared, and we should be prepared on the route. So in the medical kit, you will have these things, dressing things, then how to manage the musculoskeletal. And one more thing is that we have a small ICU on the road, that is ambulances. So our ambulances are well equipped. It is a BLS ambulance, ALS ambulance has each and everything. They had oxygen, defibrillator, ventilator, each and everything. If the casualty become major, then that time your duty is to have to shift that casualty to the ambulances which are deployed on the route. There are 10 ambulances, one ambulance cardiac at the Sun's ground, second near the gate, and there are 8 ambulances on the route. You will get the coordination number from that ambulances, and it will be a really rare experience for you as a medical team as a pre-hospital medical management. So again, there is a big role of physiotherapists in this medical management, because on the Sun's ground, when the race ends, everyone needs these physiotherapists. They will be working with these eyes and the exercises. They are managing it very nicely. But same role is with all these team members. We have Dr. Apurva Shilpi here. Dr. Apurva Shilpi, he is working with Pune International Marathon since 15 years. That time he was a lecturer, then associate professor, and now Dr. Apurva Shilpi is a principal of Sancheti College of Physiotherapy. I request Dr. Apurva Shilpi for his presentation on how to manage casualties with physiotherapy. Dr. Apurva Shilpi. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for the kind introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm sorry I could not join in person, and we are having this online, but thankfully due to technology, this is possible. I'll just share my screen and we'll just start with the session. Okay, so okay, I hope you guys can see the screen now. Okay, so this particular talk is on the role of physiotherapists in Pune Marathon, and rather than going through the technical domains, we are going to talk a lot on actually what can be done or what are our practical experiences over this number of years. I thank Dr. Jagtap sir for the kind introduction, and we have been working together since more than 7 to 8 years now, I believe. So we have worked on quite a lot of marathons together, experienced some challenges. Thankfully, we never encountered any issues because the way Dr. Jagtap sir has been managing the entire medical domain is excellent. But nevertheless, as he always says, that you have to be prepared for the worst in any case. Of course, hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. Now, Pune International Marathon is amongst the oldest marathon in the country. In fact, just last year, this is the 35th marathon. 34th marathon was celebrating 100 years of marathon in India. So it is amongst the oldest marathon. We have actually completed an entire century. And till date, there have been more than 15 lakh runners who have participated. In fact, the numbers have increased. I am quoting the last time domains. And this time also, after the COVID domains and everything, we are still expecting more than 10,000 participants. Normally at any marathon, we expect almost 3 times of this. but nevertheless, the officials can tell you the exact number, but the number of participants is also always very huge. But similarly, Pune Marathon is always a medical nightmare. There are people running on the roads. This time, for the first time ever, all of you must already know this is a night marathon where the flag off will be at 12 in the night. Normally, when the marathon progresses, we generally have our flag off by around 4, and when the marathon progresses, we are expecting daylight. So with daylight, there is a good amount of visibility. We can earmark a lot of things. Nevertheless, traffic also increases. This time, being a night marathon, we are actually hoping that there will be lesser traffic, especially on the earmarked route. But in the flag offs, it is possible. But when we are talking of the half and full marathon, you do expect some other domains to happen. Second, normally all the marathons have happened till now in December. Now this marathon, we are almost to the end of February. And that's maybe one of the reasons why we are going for a night marathon, because the temperatures, as all of you know, have increased. Already, Dr. Suraj sir has very beautifully talked a lot on how we can have all the medical domains, dehydration or hyperhydration, what can be the challenges that we are encountering. But nevertheless, expecting heat, even in the night time, is very important. So all of us need to be prepared likewise. And there are falls, injuries, lacerations. We generally don't expect a lot of issues with the elite athletes. The full marathon runners are kind of trained. We are expecting these issues in the 5 and 10 kilometer runners, those who are enthusiastic. All of a sudden, 4 days, 5 days before they decide I have to start planning for the marathon, they start training themselves and jump into this. We are expecting certain issues with them. Plus, there are times where there are special populations with special needs and requirements. So that also needs to be kept into consideration. So from a physiotherapist perspective, we have a various tasks and domains. It's not just related to, at the end of the marathon. Physiotherapist is very crucial at the preparation part also. We, in the initial phase or during the performance of the marathon, need to assess the EMS, the emergency responders, in the primary domain for taking care of the athletic injuries. And many a times, not just the athletes, because it is a marathon, it's a huge event, there will be spectators, even at 12 and 2 in the night. So there are times when there are issues not with the athletes, but with the spectators. And as a physiotherapist, you have to be watchful even for this particular domain. There are quite a lot of over-enthusiastic people who kind of just jump in and try to enjoy themselves. So we have to be careful on these domains also. Physiotherapists should be prepared to handle any type of emergency situation. So we, of course, there is a very good team and we'll be talking on them. There are physicians, nurses, there are emergency responders. We as a physiotherapist will also be an equal partner in them. We will need to assist them or help them as and when required, whenever there is a requirement from their end. If not asked, do not interfere. The reason being, many of the times, the medical responders, the EMS, they know what they are doing and they can manage. Only there are times jab bhagdad mach gaya, jara jada issues ho gaya, things are bloating up a bit, where you will need to be, assisting them. Nevertheless, you should be clear on management of primary injuries. You can be involved into pre-race education, ideal domains. Many of the athletes, they have their own physiotherapists involved with training, strengthening, conditioning, and other domains. So all these are a part of it. If we are talking from the actual marathon, then yes, assisting the emergency medical domains is very, very important. So education of the participants and appropriate training and pre-participation screenings, this can be very useful. This is a very ideal method, but again, does not happen very, very much. Look at the health and well-being of the participants in prevention of the emergency medical domains. Plan strategies to maximize the participants and spectators' safety. So when we go ahead, we'll be talking on certain things that you as a physiotherapist also will need to be having with yourself. So take care of that. More important is you do not be a victim in this case. in the sense, have food, because see, again, somewhere around, you will be reporting at around 9:30 or 9:30 approx. So you should have had your lunch proper, or your dinner properly. You will be getting some snacks along with you. Do carry water. If you feel you need to carry anything other than that, maybe you feel you need to eat. No shops will be open at 2 or 3 in the night. So maybe you can carry some couple of fruits like a banana or something, banana, apple, which would be helpful if you are having that midnight craving. So ensure that you are looking at your health and safety and well-being before you are actually trying to help somebody else. Then pre-race, again, look at the race course. Mapping of the route is very, very important. And very important is you need to cooperate with the race officials. The race officials will ensure that all the functioning of the marathon and everything is going smoothly. You may be helping to assist them during the race also. You must already have been told about the route of the marathon, how the entire component is. So all of you are aware that we are starting from Sarasbagh, and we will be going along with this towards PMC. Again, this is for the full and half marathon. For the 10 and 5 kilometer, they will not go towards PMC, but they will go towards Sinhagad Road. So you should know the route where you are posted. All of you might not necessarily be on Sarasbagh. You might be along the route. We have our medical stations also, which we'll be talking of. Please be oriented towards the geography where you are. It is a night marathon. Have a flashlight or a torch with you in addition to your cell phone. Cell phone mein flashlight hai, good, but the battery will get drained, and then in case there is an emergency, you don't have a battery support to call. Agar aapko sirf cell phone ka battery use karna hai, fantastic, then carry a portable charger, or else have a torch or a battery along with you, so that in case needed for any emergency domain or anything, you can always use that. In case, always plan, like for example, after the workshop today also, those of you who are already there at Marathon Bhavan, you will be looking at the ambulances, the 108 cardiac ambulances also. Get oriented to how the system is. Again, the team is fantastic. The entire 108 team is really very good, and we have worked with them together, and they are really highly trained people. We are amongst the few states where doctors are also posted on the ambulances. So they are there to manage, but you should be oriented. In case, God forbid, something goes wrong, you should know how the system is. As I said earlier, your cell phone must be charged. Charge means battery also charged and your balance also charged. Wahan pe phone karke balance low hai, you cannot make an outgoing call. Ye sab, what doesn't work. Second, you will be given the list of emergency personnel. Wherever you are posted, the closest ambulance ka number, the driver number you can have with you. But in case you want to call 108 on the number 108 for reporting, then you should be in a position to tell exactly where you are. So आपका location geographically आपको पता होना जरूरी है ताकि you can give exact details. Third, if you are identifying an athlete who is injured, a runner who is injured, please identify them with the bib number. It is very important that you identify them with the bib number, and the bibs are color coded. Why? There might be international athletes. It will be difficult for you to pronounce their names and tell their names. You also should document, and it might be difficult for you to write that down. So identify with the bib number so that you know exactly who and where you have to talk about. Then again, identification of personnel involved with the sports medicine coverage. So I think Jagtap sir has shared a PDF where you have already given the names of the contact numbers closest to you, the officials. Please store them in your cell phone. वो टाइम पे PDF ओपन करके ढूंढ के ये करने की कोशिश मत करो. Save these numbers and mark them as either IEC number or PIM numbers. So you can say PIM so and so, PIM so and so, so that you know that आपको सर्च करना है तो पहले PIM टाइप करना पड़ेगा, पुणे इंटरनेशनल मैराथन. So that way you can understand this much better. In case you are calling for an ambulance, do not panic. Be clear in what sort of information. So you are in between a particular station. There are no ambulances close by. You are either calling 108 or the driver close to you. Sir will give you instructions what to go ahead with it. Please don't panic. Give exact information. If the athlete is unconscious, do not try to make them drink water. If he is unconscious, semi-conscious, don't unnecessarily try to feed them water. They will go into regurgitation. You should be clear with what your roles and responsibilities are. Of course, as a physiotherapist, the end of the marathon proves to be a very crucial domain, but right now the marathon is going on. We are not at the end. So once we are at the end, we'll talk about what you can do at that time. So know your roles and responsibility and understand triage. In case, God forbid, we are expecting that such thing should never happen. In case there is a mass casualty, then you should be very clear on how to go with the triage procedure. This is generally the route. Again, this will be shared with you. Maybe all the speakers will talk about this. It is okay. 10 बार भी अगर आपने यही सुना तो भी चलेगा, rather than it is being missed out. So we should know where are our medical stations. Okay. This time we do not have an entire 42 kilometer. When I say 42 kilometer length route, we have a 21 kilometer circular route. So your start to return back end will be a very closed domain, because your 42 kilometer is a dual loop. You should be clear कि एक direction से लोग आ रहे हैं, दूसरे direction से आ रहे हैं. The spaces for running have been earmarked. You should be in a clear position कि आप कौन से direction के movement को guide कर रहे हो, as far as your medical domain is concerned. This is for people who are posted at different stations, not at Sarna's ground. For people who are posted at Sarna's ground, the level of info will be very, very different. There will be some common conditions you will be seeing. Again, Dr. Suraj sir must have said a lot about it, but what as a physiotherapist you might encounter: blisters, some basic injuries, heat illness, sometimes cardiovascular emergencies, some pulmonary emergencies, diabetics. This is especially true for the 5 and 10 kilometer runners, and electrolyte imbalances, especially presenting more or less with cramps. Easy way to realize it. As I said earlier, we have a lot of team members. Jagtap sir just talked about various levels of population who are involved with us. So we are working as a team. When you are working in Pune Marathon, there is no ego. आपको किसी ने भी कुछ भी काम बोला है, you cannot have this, अरे मैं ये हूँ, मुझे कैसे बोल गया. We are working as a team. You cannot bring your ego in front of you. You cannot say कि ये मेरा काम नहीं है, या ऐसा कैसे मुझसे बात करता है. नहीं. See, everybody is under stress. Everybody might be tensed. We are not there to argue. We are not there to fight. We are there to work as a team. So it does not matter who you are, under what heading you are. If you are being asked for help or support, please do it. You are doing it as a professional duty. Don't take it on a personal domain. Again, manage the participants. Your emergency care will begin with safety of the scene. There might be an athlete who falls down or has an injury. People start crowding. Okay, let's say the EMS is looking at this particular domain. The EMS is trying to resuscitate or do something. At this time, maybe you might include handling the spectators, because they will try to crowd. Handling the media. Media might come and ask you, kya hua? Who is the one who fell down? Can you give us details? Or please do not discuss anything with the media, the reporters. The race officials are the ones to give actual statements. They are the ones who are responsible to give information about what happened and what did not happen. Please, let's not try to be the hero on the camera. Let's become the hero in service. Do your duty in a well-informed manner. Do not try to give undue information to the media. Okay, you may be misquoted, you may be misunderstood, or you might unfortunately give a wrong information. So manage the scene, manage the crowd, don't try to give unnecessary information. If you are the physiotherapist over there, there is nobody else along with you, do your initial assessment, look at the circulation, airway, breathing. Okay, look at the level of consciousness of the person. So your initial assessment should be done within a matter of what, 10 seconds max. So look at CAB, see if there is any other issue to happen, because when maybe the emergency responders will come immediately, though they should again not waste their time in doing this. If you have already done it, give them immediately what is your level of evaluation, so that they take the second step to it. So if the athlete has to be defibrillated, or athlete or spectator, whoever, or anything else has to be done, that can be taken up very well. In case there are any bleeds or injury to the limbs, any severe medical, neurological, or musculoskeletal injuries or cardiorespiratory issues, be very cautious and careful. As a physiotherapist, understanding basic life support is very important. We have the 108 team also who is expert in it. Take basic information from them, how in case required, a basic life support can be instilled at that particular moment. Now, many of the times, as I said earlier, you will have international athletes. You may not have their medical history. So you, if possible, try to ask. There might be times even communication might be difficult. So look for symptoms. What are they exhibiting? Are they showing any allergies to anything? If you can communicate, ask them about allergies, ask about medications, any past medical history or issues. Last oral intake, when, as sir said, most of them keep on consuming fluids. So ask about the last oral intake also, and any events which will be preceding this event, document all these things. Many times it is encountered that you are placed somewhere where there is a water station also. Many of the athletes will come to you. If there is a water next to you, they want to have the water, please give it. आपके हाथ में पानी का बॉटल है या कुछ, उनको हाइड्रेशन की जरूरत है, don't withhold it. I am not going to give this or something. Second, if you are giving them the bottle of water, pass on the water bottle without opening it. Without opening it. Do not open and give. Let them take it, let them open it. That crack should be there for them to know that the bottle is sealed. Because understand, this is a sports event. Tomorrow, if anything happens, any doping case or anything happens, then they should not claim that I did not know, I was given an open bottle, maybe they already added something and gave it to me. So it should not happen like this. If you are passing a bottle of water to any athlete, give a sealed bottle. Do not give an open bottle. Okay, please make sure of this. If they want, if there is no other water bottle, you see somebody collapsing in front of you, and if hydration is indicated, please feel free to share from your bottle also. Okay, but I would discourage this as much as possible. Then there are a lot of other issues that happen. Many of the times we start having a race, and in this case, everybody has started, and you have a particular fellow who is just falling on the road. Now, these can also be nightmares, because the people who are running cannot see what is happening over here. You as a physio or any medical practitioner cannot just jump in at this stage also. So handling such scenarios need to be understood very well. Such athletes or people coming to you might show concussions, cardiac episodes. They might be dehydrated or heat related exhaustion, because as I said again, this is, we have already started with the heat of May. It's not May, but all of us can feel the heat anyways. And there might be some mass casualties due to stampede or anything. So we need to be careful on this. Again, in this particular picture, now somebody is running barefoot, somebody is running with footwear, again people running barefoot. We don't know if the roads are cleaned properly. Somebody might have any injuries with a stone, with a glass fragment or anything. So have these things ready. So you as a physio also may need to manage first aids. Again, we have a very good nursing team with us, but you may need to help them if in case there are many cases at a time. Over the route, these are the critical points. which have been marked. Now there you are expecting quite a lot of junctions. So there might be a possibility of an athlete going a vehicle crossing over, like for example, Sarasbag to Bajira Road, then there is an intersection of Tilak Road. From Tilak Road to Shaniwar Wada, there are numerous junctions. There's Appa Balwant Chowk, there is Chanipar, n number of intersections. So here also we need to be careful over these junctions, because that is where there may be some issues or injuries also. So be vigilant. What I'm just trying to say is keep your eyes open. You might not be in doing some intervention, but you might at least be a support system in this. Of course, we just talked of triage also. So in case, as I said again, God forbid something goes wrong, you need to know how to categorize the severity and how to prioritize the treatment or evacuation. Just remember, everybody should receive healthcare services. It should not delay the services to extreme extent, and it should not compromise your clinical managerial decision, your treatment aspects. So whenever we'll just talk of the codes also, but whenever there are any issues, you may be the direct link between ambulances and other emergency vehicles. You may be a person who will be signaling to the monitoring closed circuit systems or documentation of the information systems. So always have these particular domains. These are the triad scales. In case anything goes or happens in any of this particular domain, you should be very well aware of what the triad scales are. These are also called in terms of color. So you have code red, code orange, code yellow, code green. Okay. So this is how it is. We are not going to read up each and everything. You can find it online also if you want to, but be aware of. So in case when you have an ambulance coming, or if you have to broadcast it, you should be clear, rather than you cannot say, no, I have a patient and he has a moderate pain and he might have a head injury. No, it's simple, code yellow. Okay. Or if you have somebody very crucial, very needed urgent attention, like a cardiac arrest, also code red. So we should be clear with what these codes are. Okay. There may be children who are participating. Children are always triaged up. So they are given a higher grading always. And there are a lot of things that are required. Now, again, all these are not required by the physiotherapist, but they are generally required from the marathon point of view, the medical domain point of view. This might be distributed between the physiotherapists, between the EMS, between the nursing system. Okay, a lot of population. From a physiotherapist point of view, our best friend at times is only the ice or the ice pack, because that is what we can do at the end, especially at the end. But in between, if there are any issues, yes, you might be requiring any of these. So there are lot of requirements. The list is quite huge. Yeah, as I said earlier also, cell phone, very important. You as a physio may use a cervical collar. Have it, if possible, you can have it with you. Please carry your hand sanitizers, especially when you are handling different patients with the COVID background. It will be very important that in between clients use hand sanitizers. We have never been involved with this. I think this is the first time we are handling after the COVID crisis. So using a hand sanitizer will be very essential. It should not cause any cross contamination for any case. Maybe bandages at times will also be important from a physiotherapist point of view. Okay. And as I said, ice and ice bags are very important. Yeah. So last, for the physios who are at Sunner's ground where the marathons or the run will end, there are certain specific domains where you will be involved with. First is cooling of the athletes. Cooling of the athletes, again, there are sponge teams also. There are physiotherapists also. You please feel free to help each other. ये मेरा काम नहीं है, उसका काम है. I mean, this is really not going to help each other. So you might be involved with cooling, especially for the full marathon runners, because they are the ones who are absolutely dehydrated at times. They are the ones who are actually increasing their body temperatures to a lot of extent. Excuse me. So cooling at times will be the first choice. Then stretching. Many of them might present with muscular tightnesses, spasm, cramps. So maintenance of stretch is important. The muscles are warm enough, so going for a static stretch will also be useful, but do not go into the pain. Be short of the pain. So if a person cannot sustain, if an athlete cannot sustain a static stretch, then try to go for a dynamic stretch. But post marathon, a static stretch is more better. Icing always helps. Icing, you can ice the part because spasm hai. Ice would definitely be useful to reduce the spasm also. Try to cool down the body temperature and stretch the part. Sometimes they may give you some blister or some injury. If you can handle it at that time, go ahead with it, or else take help of the nursing team. Okay. And of course, exhaustion. In case there is a need for hydration, go ahead with it. If any doubts, talk to the medical team, because at the end also you will have 1 or 2 medical consultants. You will have some physicians. Talk to them, take their guidance, take their help. They are very good people who have, the entire team is very nice. So always communicate. If any doubt, discuss with someone who will help you with this. So take home messages: as a physiotherapist, be prepared to handle any type of emergency. I know I'm not here to teach about physiotherapeutic interventions, modalities, manual therapy and everything. Because possibly in a simple scenario like a marathon, itna sab karne ki naubat bhi nahi aati hai. A lot depends on pre-marathon training and preparation, and post-marathon how you are handling the condition. In case there are any emergencies, then be a part of the team. Additional, agar ho sake, pre-race education, pre-participation screening or so. But again, it would be a bit of a challenge, because when we are going to be posted at the marathon time, tabhi we cannot give these lectures to the clients. So most of the time, either inter-marathon or post-marathon, whatever are the components, that's all where we'll be involved. Okay. Any role you have, prior planning is essential. आप प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते कि उधर क्या करना पड़ेगा, लेकिन प्लान करो कि अगर इंजरी या ब्लिस्टर आया तो दिस इज व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, अगेन क्रैम्प्स आया तो दिस इज व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, इफ देयर इज अ मसल इंजरी स्प्रेन दिस इज व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू, इफ देयर इज एन एब्रेशन दिस इज व्हाट आई एम गोइंग टू डू. प्लान इट, हैव योर ओन SOP सो दैट यू नो कि वो टाइम पे थिंक करने की नौबत नहीं आती है. ओके, so there's a few of the references that I've used. You can always go through them. And before I end, I would really acknowledge again Dr. Rajendra Jagtap sir, who has really been a friend and a mentor. He has always helped the entire team, and I think we two make a very good team when we work together. I acknowledge and thank Mr. Rohan More. He is a gem of a person who actually takes a lot of enthusiasm. I've hardly seen somebody as enthusiastic as he is. A very dynamic and versatile person. And of course, I thank our chairperson and my mentor, Dr. Parag Sancheti, who is again one of our inspiration behind this particular marathon. So thank you and all the best to all of you. Let's hope that we all can do a wonderful domain together. Over to you, Jagtap sir.
Dr. Apoorva, for your nice lecture. As usual, from the heart, or we can say that from the heart muscles, cardiac muscles. It is a very, it will be very useful not only for the physiotherapists, but for the EMS doctor, nurses, and cardiologists also, because as mentioned, it is heart. We know that heart is very important. So we have Dr. Sachin Lakde sir, who is international cardiologist here. He was listening to a lecture. It was a very nice lecture. Thank you. I want to felicitate you, but now this felicitation will be online felicitation with the certificates, and your site is a big, medium or big. It is a big size. We will give it approvals. And now I request Dr. Sachin Lakade sir, who is an interventional cardiologist working with Ruby Hall, Sahyadri Hospital, Bharti Hospital, and he himself is an athlete, he is a marathon runner, and now this time he is available with us till marathon. His clinic, cardiac clinic, is in front of the marathon Bhavan, Hृदय स्पर्श cardiac clinic. आपल्याला मॅडम याचा खूप फायदा होणार आहे. लकडे सर सगळे जवळ आहेत आपल्या. So I request Sachin sir to talk about Lakade.
Good afternoon to all. It's very, I thank Rajendra Jagtap sir and all marathon in Pune International Marathon organizers for giving me this opportunity to talk on very important topic. आपल्याकडे सगळे हे मॅरेथॉन सांगत होते की 7,000 मॅरेथॉन रनर्स आहेत. तर कोणत्याही आता बऱ्याचशा ऍस्पेक्ट्स आहेत ऑर्थोपेडिक इंजुरीज किंवा आणि ALS BLS चे पण बऱ्यापैकी कव्हरेजेस आहेत. जस्ट आय विल टॉक 10 minutes सडन कार्डियक डेथ पेशंट बाय चान्स कोणाला पेशंटला कार्डियक अरेस्ट कुठल्या मॅरेथॉन रनरला झाला तर ऍज अ टीम वी हॅव टू टॉक as a team because we should not I'm not a doctor, I'm not a paramedical staff, that should not be there. Everybody's responsibility to act fast as possible and take a responsibility whenever the any marathon runner has a cardiac arrest. It's the what the that's the thing that The slides are a bit blurred. But we have seen this kind of pictures on the WhatsApp that there were this young person who was doing a gym had a cardiac arrest. Nothing could be done. That was captured on the CCTV camera. Unfortunately, he didn't have any access. But for marathon runners, we will be having even persons, VIP persons like this Rajkumar and actor APG Kallam sir. The cardiologist is at least 10 minutes, 10 meters away from this kind of personality. But still, they couldn't save the such an important personality. It's not happened with us, our team. We have seen many of. Because I also being trained in sports cardiology, I know how important it is there when the person has a cardiac arrest. This is the normal pattern. What happens when the person has cardiac arrest? Can anybody recognize what it is? This is the ventricular fibrillation. That's good. And we will not be able to do this, and the only thing is saving this person is to give defibrillation. But it won't be possible to have this defibrillation immediately. In that case, what we have to act immediately. Just one basic difference: what is heart attack and cardiac arrest? People think that heart attack and cardiac arrest are same. Heart attack occurs when there is artery supplying to the heart is blocked completely, and patient couplings of chest pain and heart continues to beat. This patient will have chest pain, but the cardiac arrest occurs when the heart stops, beating is stopped, breath is stopped. So in that case, the sudden cardiac arrest, what we said, sudden cardiac arrest is abrupt cessation of cardiac mechanical function, which may be reversible. So it's very important. It could be a person, we can save that person. It's a reversible thing just by giving defibrillation or a cardiac massage, submersion. We will be depth of the things will be discussed by the ALS and BLS lecture. So I won't go into detail of how to give and how other things. And it's not very uncommon. Even if the incidence, if we see in the marathon runners, even in 40,000, one person can have a cardiac arrest. And for every minute delay, there will be 10% increase in mortality. Average time response is not less than 8% in the best EMS team. So it's very important. Second will be important for us whenever this kind of emergency occurs. Whenever the person has cardiac arrest, alert the team. I'll take help of whatever the possible paramedics, doctors available. I'll be in the contact for continuously. Our physician colleagues are there, so everybody has to be in the alert for the time the runners are. What is important is the what do you want to change the outcome of the patient? Whenever the patient has the marathon runner has the cardiac arrest, the first thing is the only check for his breathing, check for his pulses. If there are no cardiac activity, just go ahead with the chest compression. And the only thing is the chest compression. There is no need to give mouth-to-mouth breathing, or just give the chest compression, which is the life-saving thing. So I won't go into detail of the rest of the things because our team is very expert in all the rest of the things. But just it's very important. Everybody has to be alert. And one more thing I want to highlight about the target heart rate zone. Why this people have the cardiac arrest? Because they don't follow the target heart rate. Some athlete, if you see very tired, marathon runner is tired and he's going beyond his capacity. Check for his heart rate. Many times they will be going beyond the healthy zone is this till 70, 80 according to his age. It depends on 220 minus the 40 is the target heart rate. But people go beyond this and they start having the anaerobic activity and lactates are formed, and that's the red zone. few of them we can advise, let them calm down, take the rest, and then only proceed for the this, because if the person goes in this red zone, then there are very much chance that he will have the cardiac arrest. So proper try to rotate the muscles. One person won't give for the 5 minutes. This will be highlighted everything in the BLS lectures, but try to rotate every 2 minutes, 3 minutes with the each and every one person should take the responsibility. He should command the things rather than everybody trying to do the same things. And let's see, hopefully no cardiac arrest or this kind of, but last so many years it has not happened. We should not think that it won't happen in this marathon. We should be always alert that it might happen and what should be our preparedness for it. Thank you very much. Any questions you can ask?
You can ask some questions because cardiac arrest is very simple and very difficult to manage also. So I request
not come in the newspaper next day that it has happened. It will be a news, not only national but international news. And if we save the patient, it will be a great news. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Sachin Lakre sir. It is our great honor that Dr. Sachin Lakre sir, who is an international cardiologist, doing many angiographies, angioplasties, saving many patients daily, but then also he take his precious time for us. And that day, on the day of marathon, he will be with us. He promised us that he will be with us physically also till morning Sunday. So it is our great honor, and he is near to this marathon campus, just opposite to the marathon Bhavan. So this partnership will be lifelong to save the many lives and to increase the quality of the marathon. So I thank Lakre sir. I request Rohan's format and Rohan More sir to felicitate Dr. Sachin Lakre sir. Dick, sir. Sir, which size big?
Oh,
So, पण मीडिया मालिक किती मला द्यायचं? तुमच्या
तर तुम्ही या साईड या. तर यामध्ये
now I request Suresh Ray sir to come. Suresh Ray sir आपण big side ला L पाहिजे L side. I request Gurban's Kaur Madam, Jizamata awarding Shri Chhatrapati awarded to felicitate Suresh Ray. As we say that every second is very important for saving the life. And when it is a respiratory arrest or cardiac arrest, we should act very fast. And for this, we have a great team. We call it as a ICU on the road. That is a 108 ambulance, Maharashtra Emergency Medical Service Ambulance. And this EMS service is since many years, since more than 10 years, they are with us. It is our great honor. And we have Dr. Priyank Zavle, Dr. Vedvyas More, the team of the MES, and my friend, who is the COO of the Maharashtra Emergency Medical Services, Dr. Jnaneshwar Shevke, Hanmantrao Gaikwad, BVG Group. They all are supporting us. And basically, the team, 108 team, the ambulance, their doctors, their drivers, so they are a big support for us. They will be coming within 5 minutes because they have some emergencies managed and they will be. On the road, if we found a patient, it suddenly fall down. That time what we do, generally we see the consciousness, yes, the person is conscious. Then we see the pulse, we sense breathing. And if we notice that if the person is having pulse, hypotensive, so that time we give glucose, electrol there, so sit him in a proper position. So these basics thing, if he have abrasion, injuries, then our nursing team will have a dressing there. If musculoskeletal injuries, that time the physios will manage as Apurva says. But if suddenly you notice that this person may have cardiac arrest or respiratory arrest, that time you know that ABC as sir mentioned. And now at 4, Dr. Munindra Sawant is here to have interaction session, live session with the basic life support and advanced cardiac life support here. But that time always remember the numbers of doctors on the ambulances. So we will give you the numbers of the ambulance doctors and locations there also. So your duty is a coordination is very important. Coordination is when you go home. That time tomorrow we are giving you your locations. At Sanas ground we need more physiotherapists, nurses, and few EMS doctors. On the route, every kilometer we have one EMS doctor, physiotherapist. At Lokmat location, Lokmat Chowk, and at the PMC Chowk, there also we deploy few EMS doctor, physiotherapists, and nurses there. So this route map will be clear tomorrow. So now we are waiting for Dr. Munindra and Dr. Priyank Zavle, Dr. Vedvyas More. They will have demonstration how this 108 Maharashtra Emergency Medical Service Act, they have saved lakhs of life in the Maharashtra. And yes, this system is the unique system in Maharashtra because in this system, in other states, they have blood paramedics, but in Maharashtra, they have employed doctors on the route, doctors on the ambulances. So this is the uniqueness of 108 ambulances. Up till that, if you have any queries regarding the Saturday night, 9 o'clock, there again we have some session, interactive session there. And at 10 o'clock, we start deploying the doctors. These 2 buses will go on the route, and before 11 o'clock, you will be on the road. Our chief guest is Dr. Parag Sancheti sir, but he is in operation theater with her. Yeah, sir. Welcome. I welcome Dr. Priyank Zavle, District Manager of Maharashtra Emergency Medical Services 108 Ambulance, Pune City. And he is truly a backbone for this marathon because each and every, we can say that tertiary care or like ICU on the road, they have to manage it. Salute to this great team. Where you are, Salute?
Yes.
So I request Dr. Priyank Zavle, Dr. Priyank Zavle to have his demonstration regarding these ambulances.
Just a small presentation. I will not understand.
Good afternoon, everyone. Till the time the presentation is on, I will just give a brief idea about the services, how our 108 ambulance services are working in Pune, as well as in the district, as well as in the Maharashtra state. So all over in Maharashtra, we have around 937 ambulances who are serving our 13 crore of population of Maharashtra. Till date, we have served around 70 lakhs of emergencies all over Maharashtra, and out of which Pune has the largest number of ambulances in Maharashtra, looking at the geographical area. So around 82 ambulances are there in the Pune district, which looks after the rural section as well as also the urban section. So basically looking only at for the marathon, we have 41 ambulances in Pune district, out of which for this marathon we have kept 10 ambulances on the route. And this marathon, this is the 31st Pune International Marathon, and we have a very close relation with our Dr. Jagtap and the Pune International Marathon team. I think this year it will be my 15th year we are together, and hope this year also we are going to boost this marathon by giving the best, one of the best marathon in Pune till date we are looking after.
Yes.
So I think you should give a round of applause for the team. Because till date, per year, I think every Sunday, I am managing marathons going in Pune, but I have not seen the enthusiasm what this team is going over here. Last Sunday there was a marathon, but it was not such a big marathon. This marathon has a reputation of 35 years, and I think this year you have around how many countries?
It is a 20 countries.
Yeah, more
And this
than-
is actually this is a 100th marathon. I
Yeah.
request Sumant Vaikar sir to say a few words regarding history of this marathon. How it is 101 year.
This is a big thing what Pune is, and Rohan Murray is also doing a great job in this marathon. So I will take just 5 or 10 slides of this, how marathon is going on, how the ambulance will be dispatched, what are the casualties, and the best thing of this marathon this year is it's a night marathon, and hopefully you will not get the casualties what we were getting last 5 to 10 years of heat stroke. There will be no casualty of heat stroke this year. So a brief idea of this marathon is we have deployed only 10 ambulances for this marathon, out of which 3 ambulances are cardiac support ambulances, which is ICU non-care ambulances, and 7 are basic life support. We will have a doctors with the team as well as the ambulance staff, and hopefully we are also posting some volunteers on the ambulances, so that if any of the runner gets any injury, maybe in any case we can give them support, as well as we can take them to the nearest hospital or to the designated center what we are going to plan. So next please. So this is the route where we are planning the marathon. So this will be the route as we have discussed, starting from this area. Okay, so this is the next slide. No issue, I will share the route again. Okay, so this is our team which will be looking for the marathon. This is a control room where we have the control room in town, which controls the whole Maharashtra state. We get calls from each and every area, it may be interior part of the section, we get calls to this area. Okay. Then later on, myself, Dr. Priyanka, look after the district of Pune district city area. Dr. Vedvas, my colleague, and my assistant district manager, Mr. Nana Sai Howard. He is there. We all will be there 24 hours for available for the during the marathon. Next. Okay. So this is the plan. How we are mapping the ambulances. Okay. So 2 ambulances, 1 cardiac ambulances, and 1 basic level ambulance will be stationed at center ground where the marathon is going to be started, as well as according to the area where we have got the spots. We have kept each ambulances. These are the lat longs, so that you can directly, if the volunteers are there on field, they can go and station in that area to be there with the ambulances. Okay. So these are the planned 10 ambulances. Accordingly, we have shifted over here. Next. Yeah. These are the nearby hospitals is what till date we have been catered, so that if any international player with the organizers, we can shift the patient to the nearby hospitals. These are the contact numbers and the CMOs and in charge of the hospitals, so that we can have a good rotation with them. So these are the few pictures last year what we have clicked. Few things I would like to have kept these pictures purposefully over here, because what we have seen many years, these are the issues. When the marathon is going, the runner is there, as well as the cyclists are there, the bikes are there. So majorly that time we used to get many road traffic accident injuries also, which we were facing that time. Also, few standbyers who are coming and clicking pictures. They are enjoying because it's Pune and everything goes in Pune. Pune this is the tagline for Pune. So this is my small presentation, and hopefully we are looking forward. Everyone will be together for this marathon. And best of luck, sir. I will close my words.
Thank you, Dr. Priyank. तुम्ही आता जे फोटो दाखवले, which you have shown, really, the daytime marathon, it was very difficult to manage. But now, as this is a midnight marathon, it will be very enjoyable marathon. The casualties will be very less here. And yes, this team, Dr. Priyank Zawale, I welcome Dr. Munindra Sawant here. Dr. Munindra Sawant, welcome. So the team for us marathon is Dr. Priyank Zawale, Dr. Vedvas More, and the man also, Nana Sai Howard. So these people, they have this team that they handle each and every casualty. So I request Rohan More sir, Urban Score madam, and Vaikar sir to felicitate the team. Howard, Priyank, Dr. Priyank, and Dr. Vedvas. तिघांना पण मोठेच टी-शर्ट लागतील. त्यावेळेस आपण मीडियम टी-शर्ट द्यायचं, त्यावेळेस आपण थोडे मोठे पण टी-शर्ट ठेवलेले. Priyank. I request Gurman Sir madam to felicitate Dr. Priyank Zawale. Yes. We can change it after.
Yeah, we will change it after. Wish you all the best. Thanks for coming.
Someone photo get like. Someone photo. Yeah. Thanks, yeah. Over. 108 supervisor, Nana Sahib Award. I request Rohan More sir to felicitate. Here we have Dr. Swapnali Jinte ma'am here. So she is a doctor on the ambulance. Give him a big, give her a big hand. I request Manya. I request one more sir, Vaikar sir and ma'am to felicitate. And I request Dr. Asif Ahmed here. And request Rohan sir to felicitate. Big size is there. नंतर चेंज करू शकतो. सर्टिफिकेट प्लीज.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are talking about this BLS and ECLS, basic life support, advanced cardiac life support, how it is important. Everyone knows, as Dr. Sachin Lakhdar also has mentioned. So basic life support is very important on the route. Even if we don't have anything with us, this chest compression and mouth-to-mouth respiration saves many lives. And there is a one person, Dr. Munindra Sawant, who is a BLS trainer, instructor, ACLS instructor, ATLS instructor, PALS instructor, and he is the person who has trained many of the doctors all over India, abroad also, from AFMC to all these things. So he is with us since many years. While coming, he has a small accident, that's why he is a bit late. So now he is here. I request Dr. Munindra Sawant sir to have his presentation.
Good afternoon all. Is it okay I'm standing here? This camera should be in front of me. So much for nice introduction. I'm Dr. Sawant, and to be honest, don't correlate my name with the Rakhi Sawant. Most of it is, you always think Rakhi Sawant, who is, Muslim side. It has been privileged. This is my third or fourth year I'm associated with the Rajendra side. Too proud, to do something socially. What we are doing day on the basis. This is very small presentation. My people are really, starting to go my way. This is what I always discuss. Most of the people they know marathon, what to do in the injury. But most of the things the people are they don't know what could be the cause. So this is the presentation I have prepared from my own experience. What could be the things is going on in the international platform, right? So this is the test. What should be done when the people are involved. Yesterday, sir was telling me, there are 2,000 people involved in the marathon as athletics. 200 plus there are voluntary people. So almost there are big team. Right? And whenever we respond to any emergency, we always get panic. Or एक station पे लोग 4 है 5 है, right? So most of the time सब लोग भाग जाते हैं उसके पास. So top priority क्या है? What is the emergency? जावड़े सर ने आपको अच्छी तरह समझा what is the importance of the role of 108. So emergency response and care, what we can do as a healthcare provider before the ambulance reach on the scene, what we can do the assessment ABC, and we can maximize the care to the patient. That is the main glance of this presentation. Next, please. So this is the learning, with this platform. What could be the different stresses for athletics? We don't try to understand what could be, the pathophysiology is going on with the mind of the athletic role of playing, each healthcare provider. What could be the runner emergency? What emergency medical care we can be on the site? How we can transfer with the interconnected chain of 108 and how we can transfer that patient to the nearby hospital. And cardiac compression fracture. Most of the people, 1% there are chances. Abhi tak to cardiac arrest both rarely हुआ, but you cannot predict. This is the medical science. Anyone can collapse into cardiac arrest. What could be done with the high quality CPR? and what could be the cardiac compression fractions. Next, please. So this is the main message we need to identify. The Hippocrates says the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little, not too much, is the safest way of it. Most of the people, they always think there are enthusiastic people you'll find in the marathon, right? जिनको ज़्यादा experience नहीं है वो marathon में जाना 10 किलोमीटर run ले लिया 30 किलोमीटर run ले, it is not easy. They require a practice and practice. Why the international people, they always practice year and year to participate in this Pune International Marathon. Next, please. Can I identify this gentleman? The person, the Mikhail, he's a ultra runner. Every day 40 kilometers to run to make himself a healthy person, right? But the body system don't tolerate if you have excess things in the system of below the borderline of something into the system. Next, please. So he died. Disheartening, he died. Early morning he went to the for the running for 40 kilometers, and somewhere he got the cardiac arrest and died. He was non-addiction. His health, diet is good. Everything's perfect, right? And suddenly got the cardiac arrest. Generally, क्या होता है marathons people में they practice. Something system goes wrong. मतलब जब कभी हम exercise करते ज़्यादा load कहाँ पर आता है heart पे lungs पे, right? So most of the time when you're doing vigorous exercise, there are chances of thinning of heart wall. And because of thinning heart wall, there could be chances of जो भी heart में से blood बाहर जाता है, it compromise medical school the cardiomyopathy. That is heart disease, and most of the people died because of that. And we cannot able to rule out the cause. हम उसी की वजह से क्या हो जाए समझ में नहीं आता क्या करना है गलत चीज. Whatever the myths you have, you apply to the patient rather than maximize the care. You put this patient in the chaos and the patient dies. Right? And यहाँ पे age limit नहीं है. Young लोग भी हैं, middle young लोग भी हैं, elderly also they involved in this. So you need to understand the basic concept of this. So at a glance, participation in a marathon can be a grueling event which provides the stress on the athletics. Next, please. So जब resting phase में रहते हो तो almost this much gallon is required of water inside the body. When you're doing a vigorous exercise, 40 kilometer run is not the joke. You're getting point. So when you are doing a vigorous exercise, we require a lots of gallon fluid inside the body system. But excess fluid in the body system, this is also not good for you. The latter thing I was talking. So ज़्यादा stress कहाँ पड़ता है? Heart पे, musculoskeletal GI system, right? And heart regulatory system, which is in the brain. The most common problem in the international level. अभी जब भी marathon होता है, we used to start in the morning time, but this is in the mid time. That is the safest place. Temperature maintained रहता है. There are chances of fluid loss. There are chances of heat stroke, right? So that could be a safe things with that. So each year, small portion of athletes require a hospitalization, right? Suddenly, कुछ onset हो गया, any collapse, we go to the simple attack. So that is you require 24 hours hospitalization. यहाँ पे हमारा on site, on scene, what we can do in the golden hour, golden second, we'll do the primary treatment to that patient. 10 ambulance come on the scene. He will take with the good care in the transit. We will go to the nearby hospital. That is the interlinked chain. That's why every people in the same platform to have a good marathon with a good outcome and minimizing the zero of any emergency. Next. The main role of the healthcare provider in marathon is to minimize the risk and give the maximize care. तो क्या होता है एक मैराथन वाला पसीना हो गया हमने पानी भी बोल रहे हैं initially I don't want water. Sometimes ऐसा होता during the marathon suddenly एक station पे आ गया where all the healthcare providers standing at the station and suddenly he collapses into syncope. So what people do? अरे यार उसको बहुत sweating आ रहा है, they will try to give the water to that person. But patient is not in the conscious state, वो swallow नहीं कर सकता, they are trying to put the water. तो क्या हो जाएगा? That water will go in the lungs and it will cause the other complications. तो ये छोटी-छोटी चीज को ध्यान रखना और treated. अगर patient conscious है, right? Is not panicking the situation, but definitely you treat on the scene first aid though. That finish. So dispatching more serious cases to the hospital, don't forget to 108. Don't stay and play with the patient. अगर unconscious से वापस conscious level में नहीं आ रहा है, it's better to transfer because again we are coming up with the other marathons, athletics. ऐसा नहीं कि एक patient को पूरा team लगा रहा है, दूसरा गिर रहा है, दूसरे को ध्यान नहीं. Right? Next. So at emergency, most of the people, रनिंग करना तो ऐसा नहीं है कि बहुत फास्ट भाग लिए, धीरे भाग लिए, बहुत जोर से भाग रहे 10 किलोमीटर तक, ऐसा नहीं है. Heart and lungs, they have proper system to work in a proper fashion. Next please. So exercise associated collapse, what could be the things? So first is hypothermia. क्यों होता है hypothermia? Anyone? Hypothermia हो सकता है? Yes, excellent. Excessive sweating, and because of that reason, hypothermia. Not only the hypothermia, that could be a lead to the hypovolemia. Hypovolemia शरीर का होगा तो सोडियम जा रहा है, तो सोडियम जा रहा है तो definitely patient goes in unconscious state. That could be chances of cramping in the muscle. तो रनिंग करने की वजह से muscle cramping not because of utilizing the musculoskeletal system, but loss of sodium also, they could lead to the hypothermia, and that is more than enough to have a cardiac arrest. तो वो चीज को आप ट्रीट करोगे तो डेफिनेटली नॉट हैव द पेशेंट विद कार्डियक अरेस्ट. नेक्स्ट प्लीज. अगेन एक्सेप्शनल hyponatremia. Sometimes water intoxication can be happen which can be lead to the cardiac arrest. तो unnecessary देखा आप एथलेटिक ज्यादा नहीं इसलिए सिप मारते देखी कौन रनिंग यू डोंट ड्रिंक. हम लोग 5 किलोमीटर एक बॉटल कोई मार लेते बॉटल इन द से वाटर राइट. Chest pain could be the chest pain. Again, if we define the chest pain, there are lots of different chest pain. मान लो कुछ रात में कुछ खाना slowly start marathon after 10 kilometer, he started with a severe acidity. Can be could be related to the chest pain. पर ये chest pain heart attack के related है क्या नहीं? To identify a few questions. First step तो गाला कर रहे थे. First step है cardiac arrest. ठीक है. So that is the one of the. So cardiology में बताया I will not speak more than that. But chest pain के बहुत सारे reasons रहते हैं. You identify the heart pain or chest pain is correlated with the heart attack. Yes or no? अगर doubtful है, but not able to call for dispatch. Next. So that is lead to the cardiac arrest. So exercise associated collapse. पता है सर? Right? Super excited sir. मैं तो आज 40 का रन करूँगा. 5 किलोमीटर पोस्ट है because guarantee. Until then, he don't have a lot of practice. Next, lack of postural tone. हम long time के लिए standing रहे 4 hours. कभी-कभी ऐसा हुआ आप नीचे बैठे तो घंटे के अचानक खड़े हो तो चक्कर आ गए. So what happened? Heart is a pumping organ. Whenever heart pumps, it goes into different parts of the organ. From different parts of the organ, the blood comes to the heart. Right? From long standing, either pumping हमारे lower extremity. तो muscles keep on pumping. So against the gravity, the blood doesn't come to the heart. उसकी वजह से क्या होता है? Blood नहीं पहुंचता है. उसकी वजह से syncope होता है. Syncope में वापस आ जाएगा patient. What happened when patient goes in unconscious? कितने लोग खर्राटे लेते हैं? Honestly, snoring कितने लोग करते हैं? भाई ये planet से हो ना सब लोग. करते हम नींद में रहते हैं. So snoring is the falling of tongue. Tongue backward जाती है ना आपके ट्रके पे बैठेगी और patient goes in the hypoxia. Right? So syncope की वजह से problem है कि patient will die because of hypoxia, not because of the certain cause behind that patient. तो ध्यान में रखना अगर कोई खुदा ना खास्ता patient syncope में गया, बेहोशी में गया, right? It's better to give left lateral position. Right? जब तक 108 नहीं आता, क्योंकि 108 बार आने के लिए 1 मिनट लग सकता है, 30 सेकंड लग सकता है, 2 मिनट भी लग सकता है. Depend on. क्योंकि वहाँ पे केस मिला तो could be that ambulance and dispatch to the other case. तो दूसरे एम्बुलेंस आने के लिए टाइम लग सकता है. Have patience, don't get panic. Recovery position there. अगर pulse नहीं है, breathing नहीं है, that is the last time you start with the chest compression. Next, maybe also with the more, frequently or aggressively exercise, outcome if treated is not required. You can transfer that patient if you find the patient is having true emergency. Fluid and electrolyte loss to the spitting could be lead to the cramping. Right? अगर ज़्यादा fluid loss हुआ तो patient में goes into convulsion, could be going in the hypotension, blood pressure low हो सकता है. Next, fluid depletion in the skeletal muscles, lack of fluid in the skeletal can be lead to the problems of the athletic. Lactic acidosis will result in the altered level of consciousness. तो उसको भी treat करना बहुत जरूरी है. So hyperthermia or hypothermia depending on the environmental condition. तो hypothermia का ज़्यादा अगर temperature कम ज़्यादा होता है तो could be a problem, but sweating can be lead. And hyperthermia not because of temperature, because of regulatory system. जब हम running कर रहे हैं तो head to toe every system is involved right, to sustain the proper circulation in the body system. तो ये भी कभी-कभी mismatch और disturb हो सकती है. So fluid distribution of replacement to improve cerebral core circulation, sugar drinks if the patient is conscious or athlete is conscious, तो ही उसको fluid देना है, otherwise नहीं देना. Treat temperature, syncope position आपको पता है, left lateral position. Next. So this is an updated guideline. Back please. Either cross-leg, ask patient to contract their muscles and abdominal muscles that blood will try to shunt to the heart level, from heart it goes to the brain, or ask him to have a squat position अगर वो conscious है तो. The reason क्या है? The lower extremities का blood will try to shunt towards the heart from the brain. Next. So hypothermia below less than 35 degrees Celsius could be a cramping, amnesia. What is amnesia? Temporary loss of memory. So next. So again, give glucose, warm drinks, and try to rewarm if the patient is leading to the hypothermia. Next one. Hypothermia, the temperature more than 40 degrees होगा. So try to rewarm him, try to identify the neurological symptoms. Patient बात कर रहा है क्या, unconscious हो रहा है क्या. Next is. So higher mortality, not in Indian scenario, but it could be international level. Next is. Cooling and panic.
So I will Dr. Mujib, but now Dr. Parag Sancheti sir, he is online, and I request. Hello.
You take to come on the line that I will finish the doctor. Sponging, right? Sponging के लिए block piece में तो block piece लेना है, give it to the grass, right? On the forehead which is spot. Next. See, 15 to 20 we cannot cover up the medical science. You cannot be a doctor in 15 seconds, right? तो थोड़े hints ले लो कि क्या करना चाहिए, क्या नहीं करना चाहिए. So exertional hyponatremia, when sodium goes down, the patient could have a headache, mental confusion, often vomiting, and epileptic seizures. Right? Could be ऐसा नहीं होगा ही. You cannot predict क्या हो जाएगा उस patient का. So they will have feature of the fluid overload with the tight fitting rings. तो अगर edema जिसको बोलते हैं, अगर वो symptom दिख रहा है तो समझना है overfluided हो गया है patient. Next. Next. Water intoxication. Unconversion could be faced the people, epileptic seizures, saline, and will not aid an immediate transfer. So this is what we call as a recovery position, right? अगर किसी बंदा अगर heighted and very healthcare provider is very small, तो नहीं जमेगा. तो other patient lie down on the flat portion, this way. यहाँ किस तरह से करना है? And take left hand toward this side and just flex करना है legs को, take him to the recovery position. और position का importance क्या है? Right, the tongue will goes in the forward direction. Number one. Number two, अगर कुछ भी saliva secretion है, it will draw outside. तो aspiration की chances कम हो सकते हैं. Good. Next. What is cardiac arrest? Cardiac का मत करो. आया ना? हाँ. Arrest stop हो चुका है. तो जितने भी हमने बोले हैं related to the runner, what could be the cause? So it will lead to the cardiac arrest. Both rare chances है. But cardiac arrest is something different. Heart attack is something different. Heart attack में pulse रहेगा, cardiac arrest में breathing नहीं रहेगा, pulse नहीं रहेगा. So cardiac arrest death with ischemic heart disease is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. ये ultra runner में commonly पाया गया है. क्योंकि जो माइकल शूट जो था बंदा, उसमें cardiomyopathy पाया गया autopsy report. Next. So this is, go back. So this is हॉस्पिटल कार्य करे चेन ऑफ सर्वाइवल। तो ये चेन है, जैसा हर एक बंदे आके अपना प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे, दे इन्वॉल्व इन द चेन ऑफ सर्वाइवल। Calling for 108 is very important. Once you find there is an emergency or patient is able to cardiac arrest, right? But just abrasion हुआ है ना, 108 को कॉल मत करना, वो आएंगे नहीं। अरे आप इसको so हम लोग तो क्या बोलते हैं? Calling 108. If you recognize the patient is able to cardiac arrest, start immediately. Age umbilical artery बोलता है, once you witness the patient is into the cardiac arrest, within the fraction of 10 seconds start the chest compression. अब AED तो 108 लेके आएंगे, आप AED नहीं रख सकते हो, तो definitely ambulance will find the defibrillation AED. Transit with the care, वो 108 उनका काम है, उनका हम अपना करेंगे. Hospital care and recovery. So what is the step of doing the high quality CPR, right? The first, अगर देखना है पेशेंट भागते भागते suddenly collapse at your station, तो पहले देखना है scene safety है। Now what safety you looking for in the marathon? तो बाहर से पीछे से और लोग आ रहे हैं, तो take that patient to the safe area, then check the response, tap and talk, hello sir आ रहे हैं। अगर वो respond नहीं कर रहा है, तो definitely उस बंदे को 108 लगेगी, hospitalization लगेगा। और very important. Then ask for help or call 108 or phone for help. Scan for the chest. चेस्ट पे देखना है, हेल्थ के बैकग्राउंड के लिए डॉक्टर नर्स फिजियोथेरेपिस्ट हाउ मेनी पीपल 7 चलो ठीक है। तो सिंपल लैंग्वेज बोलूंगा, अगर पेशेंट बात नहीं कर रहा है कॉल करो 108 को, राइट? उसका चेस्ट मूवमेंट है क्या नहीं देखो, इफ यू कैन एक्सेस द कैरोटिड पल्स, देखो कैरोटिड पल्स है या नहीं है, ब्रीदिंग भी नहीं है, स्टार्ट इमीडिएटली द चेस्ट कंप्रेशन। जब आप सीपीआर कर रहे हो, राइट, सो कार्डियक कंप्रेशन फ्रैक्चर्स, जब कोई बंदा सीपीआर दे रहा है, राइट, तो सेरेब्रल परफ्यूजन जो है पीक लेवल रीच किया है, जैसा आपने हाथ निकाल दिया, राइट, कार्डियक कंप्रेशन फ्रैक्चर गोज डाउन, वो 0 पे आ जाता है। तो जो बोलते हैं कार्डियक कंप्रेशन फ्रैक्चर मोर देन 80% चाहिए, तो वो 0 पे जाएगा। कंटिन्यूअस 0 रहेगा तो पेशेंट विल नॉट कम बैक, राइट? तो कंटिन्यूअसली कर। अगर आप एक्सपर्ट नहीं है, राइट, लग रहा है पेशेंट अनकॉन्शियस, ब्रीदिंग मूवमेंट नहीं है और बहुत कम ब्रीदिंग ले रहे हैं, बेटर टू स्टार्ट विद द चेस्ट। उसको बोलते हैं ले पर्सन सीपीआर। कार्डियक अरेस्ट के पेशेंट इज बेटर टू स्टार्ट विद द चेस्ट कंप्रेशन। कुछ आराम पास कितना हार्ड करेंगे, एटलीस्ट 5 सेंटीमीटर करना है। हाउ मच पास 100 to 120 एंड रेशियो कंप्रेशन 30 होने के बाद 2 रेस की ब्रीदिंग देना है, राइट? एंड 5 सेट्स का मतलब 5 सेट्स करना है कंप्रेशन ब्रीदिंग जब तक एम्बुलेंस आएगी तब स्टार्ट करना है, राइट? तो दिस इज द वे ऑफ ओपनिंग द एयरवे। अगर आपके पास वहां पे पॉकेट मास्क है तो पॉकेट मास्क यूज करो, अगर लग रहा है आपके पास बैरियर डिवाइसेस है तो बैरियर डिवाइसेस करो, but I will prefer that it's better not to give mouth to mouth, right? Because of surge of COVID, it's better to avoid mouth to mouth. अगर पॉकेट मास्क है तो पॉकेट मास्क करो, तो डायरेक्टली ओनली सीपीआर भी दे तो भी चलेगा। नेक्स्ट प्लीज। Any doubt, any questions? So I'll show you one small video to understand what is the steps of CPR and what will be done. So this is scene safety. It's better to have vertical on the chest, compression in the high quality CPR, right? अगर कुछ भी नहीं मालूम पड़े तो better to continue to 100 to 120 करना है। After 30 compression, if you help can provide with the 2 raised to the look at the chest, right and fall, then again come back for the chest compression. अगर आपको लग रहा है you get fatigue after the third cycle, अब अगर आप थक गए तो ask other person to do the high quality CPR. ठीक है, is that clear? Thank you. Any question?
I request for Dr. Munindra Sawant. So we will have 4 stations here. It will just take 15 minutes for everyone to hands-on training on this mannequins. We have 4 mannequins. So are you ready for that? Because I know that your blood sugar is going down, right? But we will have a good snack afterwards. Yes, and we have Dr. Shiv Sharan, Deepak. They will help you for this live mannequin training, BLS training, CPR training. Dr. Munindra Sawant, we call him as a, like we said, a trainer of trainer. He is an instructor for the instructors. So big hand for his good presentation. We are ready for his this demonstration on the mannequins. So
So anyone come forward and they can practice. So practice and after the different operation. Sorry. Sir, we demo for us, right? You use heel of the hand. Dominant hand on this. Second hand interlock करना है, वो interlock do your
elbows should be straight.
Exactly.
And your position also, first thing is you should not get injured. अभी आप बोलेंगे इसमें injured कहाँ हो रहे हैं? If our position is not proper, definitely we also can get injured. So just elbows should be straight. You have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So like that, you have to just maintain the rhythm. Okay. So the thing is that in that sometimes we also will be tired. So our team members will be there. Whenever you are tired, please don't give the chest compression because that will be by default it will be faulty. So whenever you are just tired, just ask for the help to the another team members.
Because if you not convey other to start with the chest compression, rather than one patient, you find 2 patients. दूसरे patient आप लोग रहे.
सब लोग यहाँ पे दूसरे लेकर आते हैं.
चलो who will come next? आप आ जाओ.
Proper cycle का.
चलो first step क्या करोगे? Team safety. Response check कैसे करोगे दिखाओ? I'll check the response of patient. कुछ लोग बताएगा. कुछ सभी बताएगा. Tap and talk.
सर 1 मिनिट का स्लीप सेफ्टी च्या अगोदर
हाँ.
फरक से जॉइन झाले. 5 मिनिट सर 2-3 लगेच आणि मग आपण पेशंटला प्रॉपरली बघितलं. डॉक्टर फरक सेंचुरी.
हाँ नमस्ते जगताप सर.
सर नमस्कार.
हाँ
सॉरी सर तुमच्या शेड्यूल मध्ये मी त्यातून वेळ काढला. सो आय वेलकम Dr. Parag Sancheti sir, who is truly a mentor for this Pune International Marathon since many years. And wherever we are there on the route where Dr. Parag Sancheti is always support for us. He's a team of orthopedic surgeon. He's a team of physiotherapy college. He's always with us. So I request everyone, please welcome Dr. Parag Sancheti sir. He is a sports medicine and specialist, arthroscopy and joint replacement surgeon, dean, professor and chairman of Sancheti Institute of Orthopedics. He is a president-elect for Asia Pacific Knee Society, APKS. He is the secretary general of Bone and Joint Care, WHO. Academic Council member of Bharatiya University, past president of Asia Pacific Arthroscopy Society, and past president of Maharashtra Orthopedic Association. Sir, thank you for joining us. I request Parag Sancheti sir to bless us. Parag Sancheti sir.
Namaste and thank you very much, Dr. Rajendra, for inviting me. I was seeing the demonstrations which were going on, very good work you are doing. I take this opportunity to wish you all the best for the forthcoming marathon. You have been doing this activity along with your whole team and all the doctors. You have been leading them from front and doing an excellent activity for last so many years, must be more than 8 to 10 years. So I think this is important that whenever there are injuries for patients suffering from running, overstress injuries or due to falls, I think these are the most common injuries we see in marathon. We see some exhaustion. Then we have to treat them, and it is the duty of the doctors, the paramedical staff, to be completely ready to treat any such emergencies which can happen during the marathon. So Dr. Rajendra Jagtap has got great and huge experience in this. I wish him and the event all the best. I also want to congratulate all the doctors who have been attending this ATLS course and wish them all success. And I'm sure the training you are undergoing today, these demonstrations are going to not only help you to treat patients during the marathon, but also they will help you in future to treat any kind of emergencies. So thank you, Rajendra, for inviting me. I wish you and the event a great success. Thank you.
Sir said that this training is not only for the marathon, but it will help you for your future. So again, thank you, sir. So again, these people, someone of them become unconscious. I request Munindra Sawant sir here to have a proper candidate.
No, he's very conscious with the people should not get upset because of small micro reason. Fitness are नहीं किया नहीं करो पूरे गए रिस्पॉन्स करते करना हमेशा आगे लोग की बना
Hello, you can.
पूरा हासिल नहीं बोले थे इतना नहीं ले दो रिस्पॉन्स मतलब क्या करना पहले कॉल करना ठीक है आस पास दे अब क्या करना कौन सा कुछ एक साइकिल करो
Sir, is
I'm happy. Nice. So, hands straight. And lean forward. You don't have to pull it out. How did that? Interlock. Hands straight. Hands straight. थोड़ा लीन फॉरवर्ड होता है हॉस्पिटल में बेड कैसे होगा करो ना काउंट करना कितनी करना 10 to 12 सारे बराबर बोलते कितनी बोलते 30
30.
आपका ठीक आहे 30 कंप्लीट झाल्यानंतर काय करणार टू रेस्ट हा समजा काही लक्षात नाही राहिलं फक्त कंप्रेशन केलं 100 to 120 मोर दॅन सो लेट्स टू चिप्स खाओ फिर लास्ट हा ग्रीन वाला सेंटर आवाज
So we'll ask the patient, are you okay? And then we'll dial the ambulance, ambulance 108. And
इन लोगों को बोलना है कैसा बोलना किसी को कॉल करना हेल्प करना हाउ इट टेल
okay, we have an emergency. Ambulance call them.
हां
We have an emergency location बताएंगे.
लोगों को बताओ
Okay, 108 पे call लगा के hello sir, we have an emergency.
तो क्वेश्चन है किसको बोलो हां इतने लोग हैं ना तो नाम ले लो so I'm telling it अगर इतने लोग हैं इमरजेंसी कॉल 108 nobody will call तो सीधा प्लीज कॉल 108 ask for the aid तो कुछ समझ जाएगा तो कॉल करो ठीक कॉल करते हैं और नेक्स्ट
Okay, we have an emergency at this location. So
नेक्स्ट क्या करोगे पल्स चेक करो पल्स एंड ट्विस्ट
by the time
एंटी रेट
catheter
look at the chest काउंट करना 5 to 10 सेकंड पल्स नहीं ब्रीथिंग नहीं रनिंग स्टार्ट होगा इधर क्या होता है हट किधर होता है सेकंड थोड़ा One ml blood power. Only one ml. See, you go to the any super specialty hospital, if somebody cardiac arrest, ये नहीं करोगे तो आपका ventilator drug is don't have any more importance. ये ठीक है तो बाकी सब ठीक है. यही नहीं आएगा ना, कोई यूज नहीं आप ड्रग्स दे रहे हो, आप शॉक दे रहे हो, आप वेंटिलेटर पे ले रहे हो. हार्ट जब तक पंप नहीं करोगे तो ब्लड नहीं जाएगा सिंपल होता है चलो एवरीबॉडी वांट टू प्रैक्टिस चलो
So I thank Dr. Munir Sawan. He is a truly, I told you that he is a truly instructor of the instructors. And आपल्याला नंतर पण कधी काही मदत लागली तर डॉक्टर मुनीर सावंतची आपल्या ग्रुपवर ऐकून करतील. So I request Dr. Sachin Lagare sir, Madam, and sir, to present Dr. Munir Sawan. त्यांना पण बिग साईजचा टी शर्ट लागेल. हम बोलते हैं ना कि सबके पीछे शिव है, वैसे हमारे पेश देखी बहुत सालों से ये डॉक्टर शिवशरण गंधार है. आई रिक्वेस्ट डॉक्टर शिवशरण गंधार जी पूरा जो है रूट के ऊपर स्टडी करना है. डॉक्टर शिवशरण, डॉक्टर दीपक, डॉक्टर जया, माझी बायको पण आहे तशी, डॉक्टर स्वाती आणि हे सगळ्यांनी तो खूप स्टडी केलाय. They have studied properly the route, where to deploy the ambulances, how many doctors, how many EMS, how many nurses, where to deploy on them, and they have studied it properly. So I request Rohan sir, ma'am, Lakade sir, to felicitate Shiv Sharan. Big size t-shirt. Deepak, very good. Chairman. हाँ दीपक सर को मीडियम चलेगा. मीडियम. मॅडम म्हणतात माझ्या बायकोला पण बोलवा, ती माझा तेवढा सत्कार करत असते, त्यामुळे आज मी तिचा सत्कार करतो. डॉक्टर स्वाती जगताप. मीडियम साइज. आपल्याला माहितीच आहे की एव्हरीवेअर टेक्नॉलॉजी इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट. Technology support is very important. That's why we are able to take this webinar offline and online. There is a one person, one company who will always support us, and that is a DigiShield. We have COO, Chief Operating Officer, owner of this company. He is with us, Dr. Mr. Dipen Mehta here. I request Dipen Mehta sir. So he is the technology man behind us. DigiShield company, they have a big network all over world. I request Defense Sir to say a few words about your company.
Basically, our current company is a big entity, which is a US-based company. We maintain the 40 to 50% healthcare data of US citizens. So same way we were started in India as well. So we are having EHR platform for the doctor, video consultation platform, digital prescription. Then we are also organizing webinars through our platform, in which doctors can attend the webinars and they can earn the credit points as well in our digital platform itself. So you can also download the digital app from the Play Store. It's free for the doctor, for the students as well. So you can attend various lot of academic sessions are there, upcoming, even the past webinar also, like past academic sessions also available in the platform itself. So just download the digital from the Play Store and you can view the list of the webinars, past and upcoming goals.
Sir, मी मोरे सर आणि मॅडमला विनंती करतो, लकडे सरांना देखील, की डिपेंड मेहता आणि पियुष फेलिसिटेट डिपेंड मेहता या ना. ठीक आहे. Doctor Association, Indian Medical Association, सगळं. Piyush is the man behind all this technology. Big hand for Piyush. मॅरेथॉन साठी आपल्याला सगळ्यांचा सपोर्ट नेहमी असतो. पुणे डॉक्टर असोसिएशन असेल, जनरल प्रॅक्टिशनर असोसिएशन असेल, त्यानंतर इंडियन मेडिकल असोसिएशन सगळेच असतात. माझे मित्र जे आहेत डॉक्टर बालचंद्र कदम म्हणून, तर ते पुण्याचा निम्मा भाग बघत असतात ते. आणि नेमकी सर ह्यावेळेस ही मॅरेथॉन तुमच्या एरियातून चाललेली आहे, सिंहगड रोड एरियातून आलेले आहे. So I request Dr. Balchandra Kadam, President of that area, Uttam Nagar, Shivne, Khadakwasla, Siakan Road. And I request Vaikar sir, ma'am, Rohan Morisaki, Lakade sir, to felicitate Dr. Balchandra Kadam, President of a Doctor Association. आता सगळ्यांनी स्नॅक्स घ्यायला हरकत नाहीये, कारण मला पण आता थोडंसं हायपोग्लायसेमिया वाटतंय. त्यासाठी माफ करा, कारण आपली टीम आहे सगळी आणि ही टीम रूटवर आपल्याला जॉईन करून एक नवीन मॉडेल करायचं आहे. बिकॉज दिस मॅरेथॉन विल बी गाईड फॉर द नेक्स्ट मॅरेथॉन आफ्टर दिस कोविड. सो थँक्यू ऑल. I request Dr. Urban Stoneman. She is the Shiv Chhatrapati awardee, Jitamata awardee, and the pillar of this athletics. Athletics. I request Urban Stoneman.
So, a great personality, Dr. Jagtapji, and the unique medical team, getting the great guidance from our Dr. Jagtapji. And all these years, we had a great success with the efforts of our medical team. And this year also, we hope that the full support of efforts of this all full team along with the doctors will be there, and we get a full success of our 35th International Marathon. But we feel that without medical team, we are really handicapped. With the support of medical team, we get the success. If it is not completed, we can say the marathon race without your medical team. It's a unique team. Always remember, many, we had earlier our Sadhana Devan madam, many years back. All doctors, all sisters, all the speakers, on behalf of our Pune Marathon Trust, we convey our sincere thanks to each one of you, and all the best for the coming this midnight. All the athletes are there, runners are very anxious to run the midnight race, because it's the first midnight this marathon race in our India. So we hope all the best for your coming this. Thank you.
We will never forget Dr. N.J. Karne sir, Dr. Anil Gangwal, Dr. Sandeep Gaikwad, Dr. Sadhana Deval, our old team. So they are the pillars of this marathon. And ma'am, even if this is 35th marathon, actually marathon started 101 years ago. It was 100, and so this marathon has a history of 101 years. This is the 101 first year of this marathon. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.